The Consumer Price Index (CPI) measures the changes in the price of a fixed basket of goods and services that households in Ghana consume. The said basket, which contains food and non-food items, helps in appreciating the average price levels in the country. The inflation rate, as announced, indicates that from January 2021 to January 2022, the prices of goods and services recorded an increase of 13.9%. The rising cost of housing and transport, which includes fuel, were the two divisions that recorded the highest inflation, with 28.7% and 17.4% respectively. The contribution of housing, water, electricity and gas to overall inflation increased by 4.6 percentage points from 17.5% in December 2021 to 22.1% in January 2022. Also, inflation for locally produced items continued to dominate imported items. For the first time in 7 months, non-food inflation exceeded food inflation. Government statistician Professor Samuel Kobnainim, speaking to the media, highlighted the impact that the increases in the core influences had on the overall inflation rate for the first month of 2022.
CPI rate of inflation for the month of January 2021. Consumer Price Index for the month of January 2022 stood at 139.7 relative to 122.7 that was recorded in January 2021. Consumer Price Index for the month of January 2022 stood at 139.7 relative to 122.7 that was recorded for the month of January 2021. Computing the rate of inflation from these respective consumer price indices gives us a year-on-year inflation of 13.9%. Indeed, this is the highest inflation that has been recorded since our rebase figures in August 2029. The 13.9 rate of inflation indicates that generally prices of goods and services relative to January 2021 have gone up by 13.9%. On a month-on-month basis, again across the 13 divisions, water, housing, electricity and gas is the only division on a month-on-month basis that records an inflation figure higher than the national average of 2.1%. So with the national average of 2.1% on a month-on-month basis, the corresponding inflation for housing, water, electricity and gas stood at 7.3%, which suggests a more than 3 times difference between the national average and the division housing, water, electricity and gas. All the other 12 divisions recorded inflation rates lower than the national average of 2.1%.
On the regional disaggregation front, the Greater Accra region has regained its lead in the overall inflation, with the Upper West region still recording the highest food inflation.